In today's video, you're going to get to see a gorgeous 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. Hello everybody and welcome to Classic Car ChitChat. My name is Kevin. In today's video, I am thrilled to introduce you to a gentleman. His name is Kelly. Kelly owns a stunning 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. This is the special edition model. He is the original owner. He's the only bum in the seat, if you will, that has sat in this car and driven this thing. She's absolutely stunning. He bought it for about $11,000 when he graduated from university. It is all stock, it is all original, and she's spectacular. So, without further ado, let's hop in, let's go for a drive, and let's check out this beautiful 1979 Pontiac Trans Am Okay, Kelly, rev the engine for me. Oh my God. And can you honk the horn? Amazing. All right, turn her off, come on out. Well, what do I say? This is spectacular. Tell me what you've got here, Kelly.
This is a 1979 Pontiac Special Edition Trans Am. It's kind of associated with Smokey and the Bandit, although Smokey and the Bandit was a couple of years before the original.
Right.
So this is 79, so it's a little bit different on the ends of the cars. It was a different design. So I bought this car, well actually I took possession of it on April the 3rd, 1979. It's now got, I had it restored in between 2007 and 2008, complete stripped down, and so I'm the original owner. I bought this car at Russell Pontiac Buick in Aurelia for $11,276.
You've gotta be joking.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was a lot of money back in the day.
Yes, it
too.
was
Yeah.
for my first job out of university.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I'm turning over. I've just turned over 105,000 original kilometers. Yeah, so it's this is my baby. It's the traditional black. This is the way special editions came. I'm fortunate, I think, to have the tan interior. It kind of sets off the black with all the gold on it. So yeah, as I said, I had it restored in 07-08 by a gentleman in Chatham. So he did a great job. If I had $1 for every person that commented on the paint job, I would have paid for the restoration.
No kidding. You know what else is cool as you kind of walk around the car? It's the little things that you see. Four-wheel disc brakes as well. Like, what the heck? That is amazing.
Yeah, and I should say this has power steering, four-wheel, as you just said, four-wheel disc brakes, the air conditioning, positive traction rear end.
So these were all the standard options. Well, not standard. You have to pay extra for those.
So this was a car that was purchased from the dealership. I had ordered a car, and the car didn't look like I was going to get it, and I was fortunate enough to buy the last special edition Trans Am that was, I think, available for that year with the 6.6 liter engine. Now, the other thing I should add, when I say a 6-liter engine, mine, because it's an automatic, has a 403 Oldsmobile engine in it. From what I understand, if it was a standard transmission, it would have had a 400 Pontiac engine in it.
I didn't know that.
And this, because it's the 403 or the automatic, it says 6.6 liter. liter. And again, from what I understand, if it's standard and a Pontiac engine, it would say TA 6.6. I could be wrong, but that's what I know.
Okay. I did not know that. There's so many little elements about that. I have a question though. You mentioned that the front end of this is slightly different to the Smoky and the Bandit version. So what kind of change?
Well, 77, 78 were more of a, it had the 4 lights, but more of a sloping, and there was, I can't really describe it, but there's more of a different tail end. And then they put this on in 79, 80, and 81. But this body is they call it F-body. So this is the same as a Camaro. They just slapped on different things on the back.
That's right.
Which GM was known for. I mean,
Definitely.
A Tempest could be a judge.
Yeah, little mix and match here and there,
sure.
and they called it something else. But my gosh, it's absolutely stunning. The fact you had this brand new is quite something. So when you had it restored, what kind of drove you to that? Was it like in a condition where it needed a lot more work? Like what happened there?
Well, I've got pictures. It was, for lack of a better word, it was looking tired. And I guess I could have had the paint buffed in and whatever, but the pinstriping all needed to be replaced. In some areas it was almost looking silver. So I just took it upon myself to get it done. I was just going to get a paint job, and as I went along, it just kept building and building, and I thought, well, what's the point of stopping here? So
now this is a decal, right?
yes,
Yeah.
everything on there is a decal.
Incredible. You know what reminds me of too, like this gold and black combination. They always used to have the race cars, the Formula Ones, the John Player special cars. They always had the black and the gold lines, or the yellow and the black, that kind of thing. So it kind of mimics that. But you know what you said reminds me, back in the day, my very first car was an '84 Trans Am, and I loved that car to bits. And God, I wish I kept her.
If I had heard that, Kevin, for everybody that said they wish they'd kept the car, again, I would have $1 for.
But the fact you're, one of the few that actually kept the car over the years, I mean that.
It's a big. When I go to car shows, it's a big deal.
Definitely.
When people see original owner.
Yeah.
I have to try to convince them that I'm 2, but that doesn't fly usually.
So the only flaw I see with the car, I have to bring it up, is this bloody license plate. Seriously? What about the Leafs?
I know. Well, they've done a pretty good job the last couple of days on the team. So.
One of these days.
Yeah.
How about this? If they ever win the Stanley Cup, maybe think about having a secondary plate as well.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Okay. Montreal all the way. Yeah. No problem. My gosh, what an absolute joy.
I don't know.
How old is the paint here? Oh my God, it's going to be tough to kind of scrape that out, isn't it?
Die hard.
Well, why not? How old is the paint?
The restoration and paint job was done 15 years ago.
Amazing. You'd think it was done like literally last week. Like the condition is incredible on this. So from a stock version, the rims, everything, this is the way the car came?
That's the way the car came.
Amazing.
I think some people think that I've added all of this, that I've just put it onto a fire, but this is the way it came out of the factory.
I'm just so impressed that the detail that even Pontiac went into back in the day to make this such an outstanding and unique looking car. Like even the whole thing, like in my head, I would have thought the way this flares out is sort of an aftermarket thing.
No,
but it's
this is everything. Everything is the one thing when I did restore it, Kevin, is that I had to get a graphics person to do this decal because I could not. GM didn't know anything, couldn't help me, and neither could Phoenix Graphics.
Really?
So that is because it came to Canada. It was this car was built in Ohio and shipped directly to Russell Pontiac Buick and Arilla. I have the build sheet. I have the original bill of sale, which I could show you. If you want.
I'd love to see it as well. And you had sort of an information package or like a board as well that you'd created for this. My God. And do you make it out to a lot of shows? I know you're off to one today.
Yes. Well, of course, nobody was really going to too many shows the last couple of years, but now I am. I tried to get to Chatham to Retrofest. I was to Bell River for their car show. I've been up to Aurelia.
Nice.
The farthest I've gone for a car show was to the Trans Am Nationals in Dayton, Ohio in 2008.
Oh, yes. I bet people were ogling your car there for sure, right? Particularly being the original owner.
Yeah, I think that's...
My God. Can we take a look at your engine?
Sure.
You cannot beat old school, pure power like Pontiac used to make. Man, oh man. And this is the original color, hey? This light blue.
Yes. That, yeah, a lot of people know that too, Kevin. They say, when I told them, they said, so this must have the blue Olds engine in it. So
really? So,
I meet people that probably know more about this car than I do.
Oh, there are aficionados out there for sure. I'm always impressed with the knowledge some people have. Even in terms of, I've done videos of many cars now, and somebody will comment, I wonder if this is something on the VIN number, which again tells a story as to not just the manufacturing date, but the location, this, that, and everything else. Like it's quite something. My goodness. I love the little stickers on there too. Keep your GM. Huh. My gosh. They did a fabulous job on the paint.
Yes.
Like,
what's
so
interesting is that when the gentleman, Ray Willett, restored the car, he left that tan overspray on the firewall because
Okay.
that was on the car, so he didn't want to cover that up.
Right. Really, that's how it came, hey?
Yeah.
My gosh. That gives it a bit of character
Yes.
too. Oh, fabulous. Amazing. The paint though, it just drips off the car. Like, do you have like some sort of coating on, like a ceramic
Well, yeah,
coating or something?
there's about 5 layers of clear coat on it.
Amazing.
I should look that up and find out exactly what he did because he told me and I've long forgotten, but it is on all the details of my invoices.
Right on. How much space do you have in the trunk then?
Not very much.
Show me what you got. Come on. Well, the T-roof goes in there too.
Yes, the
right?
T-roof
so
is
that
in there.
occupies a bit of space.
I got cleaning products. I got a
course.
shirt. I got the chair I use. I've got my sign. This is a
Where's your California duster?
Yeah,
Oh, there
it's
it is.
right there.
Canadian Tire
Yeah,
Special.
yep.
There we go.
Yep,
Oh, and
so
there's your sign there too.
there's my
Yes,
sign. So
let me get that in.
this, and the reason for this sign is that this car was picked to be in the 2011 International Auto Show down in Toronto, and they were focusing on Camaros and Firebirds that year. So a gentleman saw my car and he asked me if I would put it in the show. So I had to take it down to the Metro Convention Center in February of 2011.
Amazing. Good for you. That's an honor right there.
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
going to
part of
try
that.
to get a different sign made, but
Oh, magnificent. Wow. Absolutely lovely. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. Brings out so many fond memories. Even in my Trans Am, it had this kind of fin-like thing. And I reminisce about that and I kick myself every time I see one of these things. What did I do? Oh my God. But I had to sell it in order to buy a house, so there you have it.
and again, if I had a dollar for every time I'd heard something like that, or if I had family come along and it wasn't conducive to.
And I even had a Chevy Z28.
Okay.
Right? Ended up having to sell that. That's my son's fault because, because he was born and the car seat wouldn't fit in the back.
Yeah,
So I went from there to a Dodge Shadow of all things.
Okay.
So, wow, just beautiful. Kelly, this interior tan color is amazing.
Kevin, I think I was
Amazing.
very fortunate to get that.
Wow, it just takes you back in time.
So as I mentioned earlier, I had ordered a car from Russell Pontiac in
I'm gonna go on
Aurelia,
this side. Yeah, keep
and
talking.
I had ordered it, and to be honest, I was my first job out of university, so I was trying to keep the cost down. So I ordered one with a smaller engine, the 5-liter engine, and as well without air conditioning, trying to keep the cost down. Well, my car didn't seem to be coming, and I went a few times, and they said, we don't know what's happening with the car, if they're going to build anymore. So I went to another dealer, and they looked it up on the computer and said, we don't know if GM's going to build any more special edition Trans Am. And he looked on the computer and he said, I know there's only one out there and it's loaded, but I couldn't tell you where it is. And I said, I know where it is because I've been taking it for test drives. And I went back to Russell Pontiac and said, can you what's happening with my car, and they said, we don't know if they're going to build anymore. And I said, what about the one over there on the lot? Can you do any better? They reduced it $300, and I bought it.
Wow.
The car gods were looking out for me.
They were indeed. So you lucked out there.
Yes.
You won on so many levels right
Yep.
there.
Especially the license plates.
Well, okay. Fine, I'll give that to you. My God, Kelly. She's just magnificent. The sound of that engine as you were just doing that is just pure. You don't need all the extra bells and whistles. Just big, old-fashioned American V8, just muscle right there. My
So
God.
the only thing that's different about this car from when I took it off the lot was this speaker here. When I bought the car in '79, and probably a couple of weeks later, I took it. It only came with the AM/FM radio and a right speaker, and I took it down and had a cassette deck put in with 2 speakers. So that's why those holes are there. And I figure I'm going to just end up doing the same thing. So I put another plate there, but I did keep the original radio, and it's back in. I put it back in the car. So I'm going to get some stereo system that's hidden.
Okay, run that by me again. So initially, when you got the car, you get the front speaker and one rear?
Yes. And
One.
that AM/FM radio is what came with it. That
Amazing.
Yes.
But you only get the one rear speaker.
Yep. I guess for some reason they just put. I guess that was the stereo, the front and the back.
But it was off to the side, not
Yes,
even
yep.
in the right bang
Yep,
in the center
yep.
either. Interesting. I did not know that. Oh my gosh. Well, we talked a bit. Should we go for a little spin?
I was fortunate enough to. I didn't realize I had kept this. This is the original documentation that I got with the car. Even the gentleman who sold me the car, unfortunately, he's passed. But this has all the original documentation in it. The original bill of sale.
Look at this, Kelly.
So there's where now.
And it was all handwritten too.
All handwritten,
Oh, you gotta love
and that's
that.
my actual legal name. So there's what's on there.
Wow.
But that's everything that was on it, with the signature of the gentleman that sold it to me and all.
So
The,
just so I'm looking at this, they charge extra for the electric rear defroster, $116. Radio was $180. Speaker, $29.95.
yeah, well, maybe I'm lucky. They only gave me one.
And it says Trans Am. Is that got maybe the logo at the front there?
I
$294?
don't. You
What
don't
is
know
that?
because of the WS6 package.
Ah,
That's
okay.
the-
So you
yeah,
pay extra
yes.
for that.
Yeah.
My goodness. And there you have it.
And what's interesting as well, Kevin, I didn't know this when I went down to the Trans Am Nationals in 2008. There was, as I said, some people know more about my car than I do. And this fellow, whether it's true or not, said, "Oh, you bought this car directly from the dealer." And I said, "How do you know that?"
Yeah.
He said, "Because it has a black seat belt." In a tank. He said,
Oh.
"If it came from right from the factory,
Yeah.
I guess you had to order
As an extra.
a matching
Wow.
colored seatbelt." Now, again, only what somebody's told me, and I'm too lazy to really research that to find out if they
Well,
were.
now that you've retired, maybe you'll have a bit more time to kind of pursue those little challenges.
Yeah, but I got to keep track of Habs wins. So.
Well, that won't take long.
Oh, gee.
All right. Here's what I was going to say. So that's that, and then
And I did
then
want
you
to
have
just
this
also
little album.
I just want to show you
that
that this is of the restoration, but this is the actual. Well, not the actual. This is a copy of the build sheet that was under the back seat of the car when it was restored.
Look at that. And that was in Norwood, Ohio.
Yes, so it was, as you can see, shipped from Norwood right to Russell, Pontiac, Buick, and Aurelia.
Amazing. Wow, what a beautiful history on that right there.
And then there's, just to give you an idea, there's what the car looked when I took it to Chatham to get restored.
She wasn't that bad then either,
No,
but I guess, you know, to your point, a little tired looking.
Yeah, and then it's just sort of gives some indication. Ray just basically went through and looked where everything was, decals, so that he would know where they all have to be placed. And I'll just flip through this quickly if there's something you want me to go
So
back.
Ray,
But there's
Ray
the
is definitely a bit of an artist here. He knows his stuff.
Yes, and
What a fabulous restoration.
there's with the car stripped right down to the bare metal.
Wow. Oh my God, look at this. Oh wow, literally. It's enough to make a grown man cry.
He had to replace the only thing he had to replace was the oil pan.
Yeah.
But
Look at that, so that's just age, hey,
Yes.
over time.
Yeah,
Look, amazing.
and then as time goes on.
And he does this in his garage, like his
Yes.
home garage?
Yes.
Wow.
He's got a 4-bay. He had a 4-bay garage.
Okay,
So there's what it is coming along, and then
Oh my goodness me.
And there's
Even the seats?
even the
Wow.
interior. Sandblasted all the seats, put new foam in them.
How
here.
did you find this Ray?
Well,
And look at that after she's
yeah,
done.
that's almost in the same spot when I took it. So he was my wife's cousin. He worked at RM Classic Cars in Chatham.
Okay.
So he did this on the side, and he, as I said, he had it for about 10 months from June of 07 through till May of 08.
Yeah.
And that's how I was able to find him. So
My goodness. And what an artist. He did a fabulous
yes,
job.
he certainly did.
And at least the legacy lives on in
Yes.
terms of what you're
Yeah.
going to do to this car to keep her looking the way she does. All right. A lot of chit chat. Let's go for a drive
Okay.
now. Okay. That engine is lovely. What a sweet sound. Okay, we're going to head out this way. You know you're the envy of everybody that sees you in the car shows.
Well, some I suppose. And everybody, the good thing about going to car shows is that everybody has a taste for a certain type of car.
They do, yeah.
So, and there's no problem with that. Somebody will.
Okay, we'll turn left at the stop sign there.
Yeah, a lot of people will ogle over my car, and then some people will walk by it and ogle your car or a '57 Thunderbird.
For sure. I love this too. RTS was radial tuned suspension.
Yes.
I did not know that. I've heard that term thrown around, but never knew
And
what
the
it
other
meant.
thing on a special edition Trans Am, this was normally silver on any Trans Am, but this was made gold because of the special edition.
But the black and gold combination looks great.
Yes. I
Mine
think
was the silver and black. The
Okay.
two-tone from that regard, but it was nice. Now the back end of that hood scoop thing, is that just decorative?
just decorative.
Yeah.
Doesn't function.
It almost looks as though it has fins in it, but it's
yeah,
just designed.
it does. It just has ridges, but it's not functional.
Yeah.
So, and apparently some people have made it functional.
So like flap up and
Yeah,
down
I guess
kind of
so,
thing?
yeah. But because that's not the way I got the car, I leave everything as it is.
And this little switch here?
That's the rear window defrost.
That is, eh? Wow. And look at that radio. Amazing. You can't beat the old radios. Just something magical about them.
Yeah, it's not exactly straight across there, Kevin, but hey, it's the radio I got with it.
Well, you
so,
know what? That's something only you would notice
Yes.
too. Okay, and we'll turn right at these lights. And the power brakes are pretty good, hey?
Yes, everything's It's
So no cup holders though, Kelly.
no, there are not.
And you didn't buy those cheapo Canadian Tire jobbies
No,
and stuck
I've
them
just,
there?
I think that's one of the things I guess they never thought about. So, and the other thing I should, as you can see, Kevin, that says I mentioned I just turned 105,000 original kilometers.
Right.
Well, it only went to 99,900.
yes.
So once it hit 100, it went back to zero. So
Yeah.
that's why you see that on the car.
And what do you use for fuel then, Kelly? Just premium and level?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you do the 94 octane?
At least 91.
Yeah.
If not more.
I love the steering wheel as well.
Yes, it's
Like everything's just color coded. It just it seems tiny, but it's just right for this car, isn't it? And the badging even. Oh, sorry. We'll turn right here. The badging on the doors as well. All stock. It's the way they came.
That's
eh?
the way it came. Yeah. Now that's all been replaced when I restored it because they were getting a little brittle, or I'm not sure, just whatever you want to call it.
Kind of like us, age.
Yes, that's true.
And this one actually had the two side mirrors. Or was
Yes.
that part of the package?
I don't know. I would actually, somebody pointed that out to me not too long ago. There's the fact that it had two mirrors.
Yeah.
I guess at some point the cars only had one
That's
mirror
right.
on the driver's side. This is just an aside, but I had forgotten that cars at one time had license plates with the actual year on them. I'd forgotten
Right.
about that. So,
Right. So going back in time a little bit, what was the very first car you ever had?
this one. I know I started out late, but this is my first car.
My gosh. That makes it even more special,
Yeah, I
Kelly.
suppose,
Here I
yes.
am thinking you're going to say, well, I used to have a Mustang and that was my very first car. It was a beat up old thing. So you went straight into the king of all cars.
I guess
Wow.
probably not realizing it, but I just had a real thing when I saw the brochure for this car in 1979. They had all of the different Pontiac models in it, and I saw the picture of this one, and I got to have this car.
So you're the only bum in the seat that actually has ever driven this since new.
Well,
Do you
no,
let other people drive it?
I have. Unfortunately, my deceased wife used to drive it.
Okay, sorry to hear.
A few people that I've known over the years, but not very
So
many.
turn right here. So you can count them on one hand.
Yes.
So basically, yes. Kelly, it garners so many looks and thumbs up every time, doesn't it? The suspension is lovely on this. It's
Yeah,
not rock hard, it's just
Right,
nice
yeah.
though.
Except for those spots, Kevin.
Yeah, but you know what? That's okay. You got to feel the road. It's
Yes.
a sports car after all, but it's not extremely hard. It is smooth enough that even long distances is comfortable in.
Well,
this car.
it's very smooth on highways,
Yeah.
but when you get into roads with the manholes in them and stuff like that, it gets
Yeah.
can be a little bumpy.
So this is sort of a test track. You
Yes.
realize that, right?
Okay.
Because you're going to see a few of those manhole covers. Wow. So you kind of store her away in the winter.
Yes.
Did you ever kind of desire any other car after you got this, or this was the one that?
I
have your dream car?
would probably like I guess it would be. So if you're doing up your Christmas list, that's great.
Okay,
I'd like
yes.
probably a '57 Thunderbird,
Uh-huh.
or
With the Continental package?
Yeah,
or with
yeah.
that- With, okay.
Yes, and I guess the other one would have to be a '37 Accord Fate.
Okay. So, and there's plenty of room under your tree, is
That's
there,
right,
for all
yes,
of these
yeah.
things? Okay. I will make a mental note of that one. I love the fact you get this little kind of a holding thing here. It's like a leather strap.
Yeah, I guess it's if you want to get out, you hold on to that to help you out. I'm not really sure. I haven't sat over in that side of the car too often. I
True.
don't think I've been in the back seat more than 5 times.
Well, you know what? It's not the most comfortable, but in a pinch, you
Sure,
can get
yeah.
there. From A to B. It's sort of a 2+2. The ride on this is just beautiful. And no problems with the AC or any of those things running in the car?
So, no, it's been pretty good to me. So it's been a labor of love and a ownership of love having the car.
Yes. And it makes you smile. It makes you feel young again every time you get behind her.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
And especially in your case too, like having this car since new, the very first car, you know, every time you kind of reminisce about those times, right? When you first got her. Man, oh man. You have no idea how lucky you are there. You hear that a lot, I know.
Yeah, I do, which is, and I'm not complaining.
So over the years though, Kelly, I know in the restoration the seats were out, but no cracking, no fading on the seats, nothing?
This is the original dash. This is the original console. I did replace the console cover,
the cover there.
but other than that, it's all.
I'm impressed that, you know, it kept so well over the years, particularly being a convertible, with the sun beating on it as well.
Well, and that's probably the reason I had to replace some of the interior pieces. So it's.
Yes. But back in the day, though, you did store her over winter. You didn't drive this through the winter, did you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fortunate when I did buy it. I bought this car in April 1979, and I got a job on November 1st, 1979,
Right.
and I got a company car.
Very good. So that could be your winter beater.
Yes.
You know, I will be honest, when I got my Trans Am, it was the only one I could afford, and I drove that in the winter, and that's an experience right there. But hey, you get by.
Yes.
You just got to be careful. The other interesting thing too, you notice that even in the seating position, Kelly, it's lovely. Like you really sit nice and high almost. Like you have full visibility. Like it really is very well, beautifully done that way. And the only other question I have, this switch here is again your rear defroster.
Correct.
Your lights, the front headlights and
It's
that.
right here,
Oh,
so you
that's
have to
the
pull
knob,
them
okay.
out.
Yeah.
And so that those are on. And then if I want to do the
Full
high
beam,
beams,
yeah.
I have to pull this back.
Nice. And the emergency brake is on the left pedal there.
Yes.
Fantastic. Lovely. Okay. So Kelly, what do I say? Thank you so much. You came all the way from beautiful Rockwood to come and talk to me today, and I really appreciate it. This is a gorgeous car, and you make me so envious. Not only are you the original driver, the owner of this car, but this is your first car, and you've kept her looking beautiful. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Kevin.